My name's Kelsey, and this is Kelservations, Conversations with Kelsey, because I'm not that clever of a person. So I wanted to talk about why you should tip your server. I've been a server for like 5 years, and I just recently quit. And the thing that bothers me the most in the entire world are when people say they don't believe in tipping, they don't want to tip, they can't tip. I don't care what your excuse is, I think it's ridiculous. So the difference between going to a restaurant and going to someplace like McDonald's, Wendy's, Burger King, whatever, is that you're paying for better quality food and for service. Do you see? That's why they have servers. I mean, it makes sense, right? You're paying for service, you get a server, you get someone to wait on you hand and foot. People think, well, they make plenty of money, they don't need me to tip. Well, if you have 5 tables and everybody thinks that everybody else is tipping, then nobody's actually tipping, you're not actually making any money. The other problem is, the federal minimum wage for a server is $2.14 an hour. $2.14. Well, I picked this job. I could have done something else, or I could have made more money. Have you seen the job market? Have you just tried to up and quit your job and pick a new one, go through the interview process, be selected with like hundreds of other applicants, and then find out that you can't get the job? Sometimes serving, bartending, busing, cooking is the only job that you can find at the moment, and then why are you just going to quit it to go and try and find something else? Maybe I was looking the entire time. How do you really know? You don't. Anyways, back on topic, why you should tip your server. You don't know about them. You don't know if they're trying to find another job, if this was the only job that they could get, or this maybe is the only job that has the hours that they need. Like maybe they're a single mom or a college kid, or it's their first job in high school, okay? So the server is busting their butt, bringing you your water, your soda, pop, beverage with caffeine, whatever you call it, in whatever state you're in. I call it pop. From Minnesota, we do that. So if I say pop, don't freak out. It's okay. It's a soda. It's a beverage with caffeine. Anyways, so they're running back and forth. Let's say that your server has 5 tables, okay? And at the one table, everybody wants something. Their food comes out and they're like, oh, can I get a side of ranch and some more napkins? Oh, and we need another set of silverware. Oh, and by the way, can I get a refill? Well, there's a table behind them that's been waiting for a refill for a long time, and you're thinking, okay, do I have enough hands? Can I grab the refills and all this stuff? Nope, probably can't do that. So I'm just going to grab everything that they wanted, and then I'll come back for the refills. Well, now the table that wanted the refills for a while is really upset. They've been waiting. Well, this other table's been bugging them, and the next time you come back, oh, by the way, I don't really like this food. Can you, change it? Can you take this back? If they didn't cook it right, they added mushrooms when I said no mushrooms. They didn't do the sauce right, whatever, my burger's undercooked. Okay, so now you got to do this, and that table is still waiting for refills. But you can't exactly walk past them and not say like, yeah, I'll do this for you, and then go to the table and get their drinks, go refill them, and then come back and walk past that table to drop off those refills, because now that table that wanted all that stuff thinks that you just walked past them and didn't bring back all the stuff that they wanted, so now they're mad at you. What are you supposed to do? Being a server is constantly judging, like, can I do this? Can I do all these things at one time? Who's more important? Who's been waiting longer? And you have to find like this balance. Okay? Now you went out for this higher quality food and for this service. If your server gave you a decent amount of service, you should probably tip her. He maybe, is kind of relying on those tips. Okay, I have a tiny little car, it gets awesome great, gas mileage, and, well, it's old as dirt, but it only has a 10-gallon tank. Okay, it cost me like 20, maybe 25 bucks to fill it up. So if you had a $50 tab and you didn't tip me 5% on that, I'm out. My 5 bucks, which for me was a quarter of a tank of gas. That could have brought me to work for 3 days. And maybe somebody else just needed $5 more to make that bill, or maybe they, could have used 10 more bucks for their kids for Christmas. Okay? They got that job because they're relying on the hello, Coda. I have a dog. They're relying on the tips. You went out to dinner to be waited on. Okay? If that wasn't your intention, to be waited on, ask for it to go. Ask for delivery. Go to McDonald's, Wendy's, Burger King, whatever, and sit in the drive-thru, okay? They're not asking for tips because they're not waiting on you. If you can't afford, that's, oh, my favorite excuse. I can't afford to tip. If you can't afford to tip, what are you doing going out to eat? Go put that money somewhere else. Go buy yourself some groceries. It's probably cheaper to buy yourself a couple of meals rather than $50 worth of food for a week, rather than spend $50 on one meal for your entire family and not tip on top of it, which means you're screwing somebody else over. Your server busts her ass all the time. She is constantly under pressure from the cooks, having to bring stuff out, constantly wanting you, or trying to get you your refills because that's what you want, but she has other tables, and that's the other thing. Hi, dog. She has other people around that want her too. They want their refills. They want something with their food. They want an extra side of this. She forgot something because she's in so much of, like, just this mind game and just so overwhelmed. And, you know, sometimes it's a nice, easy night, and sometimes, like, he is not feeling that much pressure, and you get really great service. But if you're not getting excellent service, can you just take a second to look around and maybe realize, hey, there's a lot of people in here. She's probably really busy. Every time she walks by, her hands are full. And if you see that, can you, like, cut her some slack? I know people who are like, well, she didn't get my refills in time, so I'm not going to tip her. She didn't do a very good job. Yeah, but every time she walked by, she had something in her hands, no matter which way she was going. She's clearly busy. Give her a couple extra minutes. I mean, she did get you your refills. You didn't really miss it. Sure, it was 30 seconds late, minute, whatever. But she got them for you. Tip your server. Tip your bartender. For the love of God, tip these people. Especially if you see a bus person, bus boy, bus girl, somebody clean up the table, because chances are that that server has to tip out that person at the end of the night. I know most places have to tip out the bartenders at the end of the night for pouring the alcohol, even though the waitress or waiter served the alcohol. All the bartender did was pour it. You still gotta tip them out. Kind of stinks, but I can understand where they're coming from. Bartenders don't make a whole lot either, and I mean sometimes they do. It's a gambling game, same as waitress thing. If you see a bus person and you didn't tip your server, that bus person is still going to go clean up your table. Your server is still going to have to tip the bus person for cleaning up your table, and yet you didn't tip her, which means that her tips from the other tables just got shorted because your cheap ass just either doesn't care or is just that much of a dick. Tip your servers, okay? End rant.